It is Tuesday! Huzzah! Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is, oh my gosh, it's already the 18th of January. How did that happen? So I'm just really thankful and humbled to be here. It's been a really busy day, so I'm a little worn down, but I think it's really important to just even pop on for a little bit, to smudge together, to sing a couple songs together, just to acknowledge and honor each other in a good way. And so I'm just really humbled and thankful to be here. I'm humbled and thankful to be able to share. And I was reflecting that, it was 10 years ago that I was in a really bad car accident, and it put me on this path that I'm on now. So it's really a time of reflection for me, and I'm really humbled and thankful to be here. And so I just acknowledge the land upon which we stand, because of course if you don't know where you are, then you don't know where you're going. So honor the Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Bagani, the Sarsi Dene from Tsutsuna, and the Stony Nakota from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. I think it's also really important to acknowledge the Métis of Region 3, which is why I'm proudly wearing my Métis sash to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. And I think it's also just really important to create a sense of place and create a sense of belonging and create a sense of community, because that's what we're here. We're here because we're part of community, and it's just a gift to be here. And so I wanted to welcome everybody today by sharing the Cree welcome song, because I think it's just such a beautiful gift to be able to share it in a good way. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree welcome song, it is from the Natahau family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, and I think the song with us. And every time I sing it, it feels like I'm bringing to fruition, the dreams of my ancestors. And so it calls in our ancestors, it brings everybody together in the circle. It teaches us to really honor every aspect of that circle and every aspect of our connection to each other. And it teaches us to come forward without judgment. And so I thank that Natahau family for bringing this song forward and for the path that it's really led me on. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree welcome song, it doesn't just mean welcome, it also means beautiful. And I'm gonna slide my chair back so I can actually sing. I've got tools on the ground because I've been making all sorts of stuff lately, so my whole room is a hot mess, but I'm gonna try and look professional. Mia Sin, Mia Sin, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miasin, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epentakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miasin, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle tonight, everybody. So I'm just really humbled and grateful to be here, and I wanted to start with a smudge tonight. I was so busy that I didn't get a chance to smudge today, and I feel really weird when I don't smudge. So it's always nice that I can actually come and I can share, not only my teachings, but if I know the equivalent, I always share those teachings as well. And so when we smudge There's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that we're not the only nations that smudge. There were other traditional practices because what the smoke does is it cleans the air. And it grounds us and it connects us to all of the four elements, all of the four directions, all of the four parts of our being, the four times of our lives, the four times of the day, the four seasons. All of those things are within that smudge. And so we have the bowl, which is water, the earth, which is our medicine that goes into the bowl. When we light it on fire, that is the fire. And then the smoke is the air, which takes, our prayers or healing or our intentions up to Creator, God, or Allah, or Buddha, or whoever you believe in. It's really about finding your path, and the medicines are only there as a tool. They're not as like a be-all or end-all, and so it's more about the intention that you put in there. And so I always lay up all my medicines, even though we're not using all of them. So I honor the teachings of sweetgrass and the smell of sweetgrass because it smells delicious. And sweetgrass being our connection to our mind, being our connection to good decision making, to help us to really reflect before we make decisions on our ancestors, 7 generations behind, our future generations, 7 generations forward, but also our 7 teachings. Because they guide us on this journey. And if we take the time to really break things apart in our life and live by the 7 teachings, we just live so much better. Awesome. The next medicine that I have and I honor in the south is cedar. And cedar, I have more cedar outside. I should go pick some cedar. But cedar is our physical body. It's our connection to Mother Earth and the relationship that we have with our body and with Mother Earth. We have sage in the west, which is the women's medicine. It's connected to water, and that beautiful sage bundle that someone had gifted me, and so I'm very thankful for that. And we use that. Being women's medicine, it's universal. Anybody can use it at any time. So whereas sweetgrass, in a lot of teachings, it's the masculine, it's the men's medicine. And so if you're on your moon time, you're really powerful, you're really strong. And so you want to respect and honor that medicine by taking a step away from it. Unless it's your own personal braid, then yeah, it's all you because it understands you, it feels your energy. But for sage, it's universal. Anybody can use it at any time, just like anybody drinks water. But it's that connection to community. And then the last medicine that I have is this lovely tobacco that I was gifted. And yeah, tobacco teaches us to honor our spirit, honor our connection to the air, honor that sacred breath that we all share. And so when we smudge, it's really about honoring all of those things, bringing all of those things in and letting go any of the things that we don't need. I always take off my jewelry before I smudge just because metal holds energy and I don't want to hold any energy. I want to get rid of it. But it's really about asking for the things that you need in your life and getting rid of the things that you don't, which is, this is exactly what we want to do. I'm actually going to take out my hair clip too, because it does have metal on it. It's really lovely. Very thankful to Jessie Sparvian McMahon who made that ages and ages and ages ago, and I still have it, but it does have metal on it. And so we have our lighter, our matches. Quick teaching about matches. So some people ask why I don't use a lighter, and it's because a lighter dishonors the relationship that we have with the earth. And so if we only have a lighter, you can take some of your old sage stems and maybe light it on fire and then light your smudge. But all of those elements of the lighter we've actually taken from the earth without permission, so it dishonors and disrespects that relationship that we need to honor with Mother Earth. And so by using matches, because sulfur is just on the surface level of the earth, we don't have to dig too far down to get it. And so we're not actually disturbing too much. So this is the way that my teachings, but everybody's teachings are going to be different, right? Oops. And I already bundled my sage. I fan it with my hand because I don't want to blow on it because your breath is your life and your life is precious and you don't waste it for anybody. First thing I like to do is I just clean my hands, so anything that I'm carrying I get rid of. Then bring it over my body 4 times to honor the 4 directions in my body. I smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. So I can be open-minded and never rigid with my thinking. So I can let go of anxiety and any of those negative thoughts that are really bogging me down. I smudge my eyes so I can see clearly and see all of the beauty that surrounds me. To give thanks for the vision that I have, so I also have the insight and the wisdom to see the unseen. I smudge my ears so I can hear twice as much as I speak. So you listen twice as much as you speak. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for that reason. So I can be open to hear all of the messages that Creator sends me, and to hear truth and good things. I smudge my nose so I smell danger, nature, and cookies. And right now I'm smelling pizza. I smudge my mouth so I speak only good, true, kind words that are respectful and honor Mother Earth and help people. So I was asking myself, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? Is it respectful? If it's none of those things, don't say it, don't do it. I smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless and share the gift that I have. I honor the voices and the spirit names that I have been gifted. I am she who sings and dances with spirits in a storm in Cree. I'm Red Singer in Blackfoot, because there's not a word for pink in Blackfoot. I smudge my lungs so I breathe good clean air and to honor the sacred breath that we all share, to remind myself of the sacredness that's within us and all around us. I smudge my heart so I can be kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those around me, to my family, my friends, and all our relations. I smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body, and give thanks for the abundance that we have, to share that abundance with others. Smudge my belly button, because that is where we're connected before we come into this world. So that's where our spirit is, that's where our intuition is, and that's where our guides are. Smudge my womanhood, because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. And also as a two-spirit woman, I'm very thankful to carry that masculine and feminine energy within me. I smudge my shoulders and my back so I can do the good work that Creator's put me here to do and carry all of those responsibilities that Creator's gifted me in a good way. Smudge my arms and my hands so I can carry those burdens with me, but also carry all of those gifts and responsibilities. Usually that's the part where I honor the work that I do and the drums that I make and the times that I share. And I'm very thankful to have an able body. I smudge my legs so I'll walk this red road in a good way and find a good path no matter where I go. And then I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body you need a little extra love. Hold on. Ooh, that was weird. I got a weird notification on my thing. Alright, that's okay. Anywhere else you need a little extra love. I need a little extra love on my hips today. So whenever it gets cold and I'm slipping, my hips are like, not having it. Especially when I get really, really busy. Sometimes I forget to stretch and to really honor my body and listen to my body. We have to do that. We really do. I'm in that because I slept weird. And then if there's anywhere you want to send that extra love to, your family, your friends, anyone who you know needs healing, needs love, needs abundance, you just send that energy to them. And when you're all done, you say hi, or magwitch, or merci, or grazie, or shishi, or dankeschön, or however you say thank you in your language, because your language is important, because it is how you speak to your ancestors. And so that being said, I am going to drum. And that's how I speak to my ancestors. And so, the song that I wanted to share, this is, I don't know, I've been singing so many songs lately. I'm really blessed because I'm in a school this week, and so I get to sing and drum with the guys, and I love it. It's kind of my favorite thing to do. And so, yeah, the water song has been a big hit with them, and so I wanted to share the water song. So, the water song is about honoring the water within us and honoring the water all around us, recognizing that water is life. It's so sacred. It ebbs and flows, and it teaches us that sometimes we need that chaos of a storm or of a raging river or of amazing waves that crash to, pave the way for new life. And it teaches us that sometimes in our own lives we have that chaos that washes away a lot of our foundation, but as we rebuild, we realize it happened for a reason. And so, yeah, this is the rain song, or sorry, the water song. Wishita doya, doya, doya. Wishita doya, doya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey, hey, Wishatanaya, hey, hey. 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 Wishita doya, doya, doya. Wishita doya, doya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey, hey, Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey, Wishatanaya, hey, hey. 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 Wishita doya, doya, doya. Wishita doya, doya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey, hey. 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 Wishita doya, doya, doya. Wishita doya, doya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey, hey. 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 Wishita doya, doya, doya. Wishita doya, doya day. 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 Woo! Awesome. So we do have the Valentine's Day Memorial March coming up, and I'm going to have details right away. I just got to send some messages to some people just so I can book all of the details. But hopefully we have good weather, because it will have to be outside due to COVID restrictions. But we will have access to a washroom, so yay that. Yes, but it will be back where we usually do it, which is the Scarborough United Church. And I really thank them for supporting us all of these years, and really allowing us to share in that space. And so it's really, it's humbling to know that we do have allies in the community that, you know, even if they can't fix a problem overnight, at least they can start by offering space and creating opportunities for us to share voices and, you know, amplify those messages and those stories. And so Valentine's Day Memorial March will be starting at we usually start at about 6:30 every year, just so it gives everybody who does work an opportunity to get there. And so, in the spirit of that, I will be sharing women's songs for the next few weeks, just so people will know the songs and to be able to share in them with us. And so, the first song is the Strong Woman song. And so, I always think of the strong women in my life. I think of my sister Stephanie, and I think of my sister Sandra, who, you know, they have been walking such a hard path, you know, for their family, but they do it with such poise and humility, and they have so much strength and wisdom and love and compassion within them, and they're advocating so hard for those loved ones that they are missing, and they do it with such gentleness, and I admire them every single day, and I love them. I'm really excited that, you know, they're my sisters from another mother. But whenever I sing this song, I really think of them, and that strength that they bring, not only to their families, but their communities, and really to everyone who meets them. They just are so uplifting and so wise and so gifted with their time. And in spite of that hurt that they carry, they still make space for others. And so it's just a gift to be able to share the song in their honor. So this is the Strong Woman song. With it, we do it as a heartbeat, like that. And we sing it a little differently, so we actually go up a little bit every time. And to me, that's that symbolizing that rising above. So with every time we step up, it's like we're stepping above the atrocities and the hurt and the hardship. And we can only do that as we support each other as community members, and we support each other as women, and Two-Spirit and Femme. So this is the Strong Woman song, also known as the Turtle song, because the turtle has 13 bumps on its back, like the 13 moons in a year, and 28 ridges on the outside, like the 28 days in a moon cycle, very much like our own personal moon cycle. Hey So the next women's song that I wanted to share is one that sometimes we share, but this is a song by Joan Henry, and she's a Arapaho and Cherokee. And it's, you can hear that pulse in it, the pulse of, you know, Mother Earth, the pulse of women, the pulse of our own heartbeat. And it's really about honoring that natural pulse that we have within us, that natural pulse of the waves and the ocean and the river, and that pulse of the way that plants grow, the way that we bounce when we're trying to comfort a baby. It's that natural pulse that's all around us, and that is the pulse of creation. It's the pulse of community, and it's the pulse of the woman. And so this is the Women's Honor Song, Anagaya, and again, it's by Joan Henry, who is a Arapaho and Cherokee. So I thank her very much for sharing this song, and I always acknowledge that song and where it came from, because I'm really, really thankful and humbled to be able to share it. So look her up, she's amazing. Anagaya, weha weha, weha no way, weha weha, weha weha, weha Anagaya, weha weha, weha no way, weha weha, weha weha, weha when away, away, when away we are, when away, no way we away we are, we high, we high, we high, we are. Anagaya, we high, we are, we high, no way, we high, we are, we are, we are, we are. When away, away, when away we are, when away, no way we away we are, way higher, way high, way high, we are, Anagaya, way high, we are, way high, no way, way high, we are, way we are, we are. When away, away, when away we are, when away, away we away we are, way higher, way high, way high we are. Anagaya, way high we are, way high no way, way high we are, way we are, we are. When away, away, when away we are, when away, away we away we are, way higher, way high, way high we are. Anagaya, we are, we are. We are away, we are, we are, we are, we are, we are. Anagaya, we are, we are, we are away, we are, we are, we are, we are, we are, we are. And so I'm probably going to stream the thing. Ugh, I can't talk right now, apparently. I've been singing all day. So my voice is a little tired, but I had a really good time sharing with the wee ones. So, oh my, I just swallowed water down the wrong pipe. So, this song is the Women's Warrior song. If I can actually breathe and not breathe in water anymore. So when we sing this song, it's really I'm gonna just catch my breath for a second. It is from the West Coast, and so it is Salish, and it really honors the women that we have lost on East Hastings and Vancouver. You know, a lot of our sisters have gone missing out there, and a lot of families are looking for answers. So when we sing this, it's really about honoring those women, those families, but all women. And you know, now we're missing more and more brothers, we're missing more and more children, we're missing more and more LGBTQ two spirit people, and it's so important to be able to honor all of their voices. And so when we sing this song, it's for everyone. It's for the warriors that are keeping those home fires burning. It's for the warriors that are stepping into those roles and raising other people's children, or never giving up the story and the fight, and that fight for justice, striving for excellence and equity. Those are true warriors. A warrior spirit is someone who's of service to their community. That's truly what makes someone a warrior. It's not people who just fight on the front lines, it's people who stand up for what's right. And it's the people who not only advocate for their community, but step into those roles and practice what they preach, act in the way that they're saying that the world should be. So leading by example is truly what a warrior spirit is. And so this is the Women's Warrior Song. Everyone. And so I'm gonna try drinking water without choking on it this time. That's a novel concept. I just want to share my family song, which is a creator song, which I didn't know was my family song when I first learned it, until I brought it back to my auntie after learning it from a friend, and my auntie was singing it with me, and I was like, "Auntie, how do you know this song?" And she said, "How do you know this song? This is our family song. Where did you find it?" And so I'm just really thankful and humbled to be able to share it, to be able to honor my family, to be able to, you know, walking a good path where I am able to share my teachings and my songs and my stories, and be able to help people along their path of reclaiming who they are, or just really discovering their path to healing. And, you know, teaching. I love teaching. It's awesome. Especially little guys. They're hilarious. They're amazing. We had like a 40-minute conversation just about moose today. And I was like, okay, let's see where you guys are going to take this. It's going to be great. And so, yeah, it was just really, really thankful and humbled for all of the teachings. And I think if we approach every moment like a gift, we realize just how precious life is. And this song, the creator song, it was a gift. It was a gift that it came back to me and crossed my path. And this really, the path of like sharing songs and stories and teachings, making drums, has really brought so many beautiful people into my life, and I'm so grateful every single day. I think it's important to live in gratitude every single day. And yeah, some days I'm tired, but I'm like, I'm so thankful that I'm working enough to be tired, that I'm doing what I love, and I am exhausted from doing what I love. It's amazing. And I think that's really something that we need to look at. So yeah, we have some bad moments, but it's finding those nuggets of good within those moments. And so this is the yeah, the creator song. song songs all day. I'm just pretty burnt out. But I wanted to just honor all of the people that I have in my life right now. I've been just thinking about the path that brought me here, especially just, you know, I can't believe it's been 10 years since my car accident, and I'm just still, when I was talking to kids today about it, I was like, wow, it's been 10 years. I've been on this path for so much longer, but I'm so thankful to be here and to be walking and, you know, able-bodied-ish. I mean, yes, I have pain, but I don't let it destroy me. So, but I do take it easy, not gonna lie. I was just thinking about the Thunderbird and how the Thunderbird got me through all of that. So the Thunderbird Song was really pivotal in my recovery. It was really pivotal in me just waking up every day and saying, you know what, this happened for a reason, and that's okay. So keep on the path that you're going on and never veer, never doubt where you were going. And I've had so many beautiful elders in my life that have guided me on that path and have said, you know what, you're on the right path, just keep going. Or whenever I start to doubt the things that come through me as a two-spirit person, they've been like, no, you're on the right path, just keep going, Creator gave you these gifts for a reason. And I love that wisdom and that gentleness that I've been surrounded by. And so when I think of the Thunderbird, the Thunderbird sometimes is not a gentle teacher. So the Thunderbird will nudge us in the right direction until finally the Thunderbird will just get fed up and be like, no, you know what, you're not picking up on the subtlety, so it will kick you in the butt. And I know there was a lot of roadblocks that were getting put in my way for the work that I was doing before, for the opportunities that I was getting before. But anytime that an opportunity for singing or drumming or storytelling or sharing culture crossed my path, everything was just so easy. And I think we have this weird thing. If it's easy, we're like, oh, something must be wrong. Or maybe it's just right. Maybe the reason that our life is easy is because we're on the right path. I think we have this ingrained colonistic mindset that everything needs to be difficult, and then you know you're doing something right, like you have to work really hard. But I think sometimes when it's easy, it's because that's what's meant to happen, and it's a gift. And so, yeah, I just stopped fighting and I just let the Thunderbird take me where it needed to go, and here I am. And so I'm very, very thankful and humbled for that and all of the opportunities that it's led me to. And a lot of it was just being open and saying, okay, let's try this, or okay, let's do this, or okay, yes, I want to, you know, learn, or I want to teach, or, and it never made it about, you know, about ego. I never made it about money or any of those things, because those aren't real. But I always made it about the community and the connections and the relationships and the experiences that were about to be had. And so I think with that, you know, reflecting back, I'm just so thankful. And gratitude has just been filling my life, and I'm just really, really humbled. And so, yeah. So the song that I'm going to share is the Thunderbird Song. And actually, I might as well share the whole story behind the Thunderbirds. So not only does the Thunderbird is like fate or destiny, it's that thing that pushes us forward. It shows that everything happens for a reason. But the story behind the Thunderbird is a long, long time ago. We were first created. We didn't know anything, and we're naked. So and it was pretty good because it was pretty warm, it was pretty balmy, it was pretty summery, like pretty much all the time. But then one year it actually started to get cold. It got so cold, and winter actually happened, and it started to snow. And then us as naked two-leggeds, we don't live underground, we didn't really have any sort of shelter, we were just kind of under the stars and the elements. We started freezing, and Wasaka took pity on us. Wasaka is like the Cree spirit. So in Blackfoot, they have something similar as like Napi is kind of their playful trickster spirit. In Anishinaabe, we have Nanaboshu, and so they kind of like they mean well. They take care of us, but sometimes they get into problems and situations. So, but so Wasaka went to Creator and said, Creator, like the two-leggeds are freezing, they're dying. We have to be able to protect them. We have to keep them warm. What are we going to do? Because they're not even being fed through the winter, because of course there's none of those berries or plants that they can eat, because everything's starting to freeze. And Creator said, okay, well, bring me the buffalo and we'll have a conversation. And so the buffalo came, and the buffalo was explaining the situation with the two-leggeds, and the buffalo offered itself. It said, Creator, I will teach them how to harvest and dry my meat in the sun. I will teach them how to honor every part of my being. I will also teach them how to use my hide and be able to salt it with earth on the back so that they can wrap it around themselves to stay warm in the winter. And Creator thought, hey, that's a really great idea. And Creator knew that, you know, probably smoking that and stuff like that would probably make it a little easier. Cooking would make it a little easier. But this was technically the second time around for the two-leggeds. We are kind of troublemakers, and we destroyed the earth the first time around. So Creator was a little hesitant to do anything beyond letting us use the buffalo. But it worked for about a couple of years. And then about the fourth year, it got so brutally cold. And despite the fact that we had many, many buffalo robes on top of us, we were freezing. And so Wasakajack went back to Creator and said, Creator, it's too cold for these two-leggeds to survive. We have to do something else. And Creator said, well, there's really nothing else I can do, Wasakajack. And Wasakajack said, well, what about fire? Can we ask the Thunderbird to give the two-leggeds fire? And Wasakajack saw Creator's face and knew what had happened before. And Creator said, no, Wasakajack. Last time, when we gave them fire, they destroyed the earth. I don't want to do that again. You know, I've already had one mulligan. I don't want to do it again. And so Wasakajack said, okay, Creator, I understand. But Wasakajack already made a plan. He already knew he wanted to give the two-leggeds, us, fire. And so he went and he asked the Thunderbird. And he said, Thunderbird, Thunderbird, the two-leggeds are freezing. They need to stay warm. We need to give them fire. And the Thunderbird, she shook her head and she said, Wasakajack, you already asked Creator, and Creator already said no. This kind of sounds like, you know, when one kid asks one parent and they said no, so they go to ask the other parent. It sounds very familiar. In all of our stories, it really sounds familiar. And she said, no, Wasakajack. My answer is no. And so Wasakajack, he was dead set on getting that egg, that fire egg, and so he waited until finally the Thunderbird fell asleep. You could tell she was asleep because in her cave you could hear all of the walls rumbling with her thunderous snoring. And so he snuck in to the cave and he slowly reached underneath her and he pulled out a beautiful fire egg. And he was so proud of himself, he started sneaking towards the exit. But because he was proud of himself for actually sneaking in and stealing something from the Thunderbird, he started to strut a little bit and getting a little full of himself. He wasn't really paying attention, and he tripped over a root. And he dropped the fire egg, and it started to roll out the mouth of a cave. And then it started to roll over the edge of the hill. And it started to roll down the hill towards the two-leggeds village. And Wasakajack screamed. He's like, oh no! And then all you heard was all of the animals erupting and waking up saying, fire, fire, fire! And the Thunderbird, of course, was woken up by all of those sounds and all of the animals yelling, and looked and saw Wasakajack standing there like this at the front of her cave and said, Wasakajack, I told you no! And so she flew after him, and she was diving and dipping, trying to catch him. He ran straight down the hill after that fire egg, and finally he caught the fire egg, and he looked up to see the Thunderbird diving again to catch him. And so he didn't know what to do. He just swallowed the fire egg, and he began to run. He was zigging and zagging, trying to run away from the Thunderbird as she was dipping and diving, till finally he said, well, this isn't going to work. There's snow everywhere, the ground is white, and my hair is jet black. I have to turn myself into something different. And so he turned himself into Whoopoos, the rabbit, with little tips of black on its ears. And so she knew that was Wasakajack because of those tips of black on his ears. And so he started dipping and diving and running away and zigging and zagging and zigging and zagging to run away from the Thunderbird. And all of the rabbits, all of the Whoopoos watched and thought, hey, this is a really effective way to get away from predators. And so from that point on, they continued to zig and to zag and to zig and to zag as they were running away, which was very effective, except in front of a minivan going down a back alley. And so, but Wasakajack kept running, and he said, I have to be protected by trees. But finally, the Thunderbird caught sight of him and dove down. And he's like, oh, there's some aspen trees. I'll go ask them. And so he zipped over to them, zigzag, zigzag, and he said, aspen trees, you have to protect me. You have to save me. Can I hide under your branches? And they began to tremble and to shake, and they felt the Thunderbird coming close to them. They said, no, Wasakachik, we will not protect you. We are too afraid. And so from that point on, anytime they even felt a little bit of wind, they thought it was the Thunderbird coming to see them, to get them. And this is why they always tremble when the wind hits them. And so Wasakachak continued to dive back and forth and dive under rocks and other places, but the Thunderbird was right on his tail, literally, because he was a rabbit. And then finally he saw a clearing, white, completely white clearing. And then as he got closer, he realized it was the beautiful birch tree. And the birch trees stood really, really tall, and they stood strong, and they had these gorgeous, gorgeous white bark. And so you could barely see them against the snow because they were so beautifully white. And he said, birch trees, can you protect me? All I was doing was trying to protect the two-leggeds. And the birch, being strong and being unafraid, said, of course, Wasakachak, we will protect you. And so he dove under the roots, and the Thunderbird knew exactly where he was, and she said, birch trees, give me Wasakachak right now. And they stood strong and proud and said, no, we believe Wasakachak was doing the right thing, and so we will protect him. And the Thunderbird was so angry, so she took her lightning claws and she dug them deep into the bark of the birch trees, burning them for generations to come. And still to this day, we see the deep, dark birch burn marks created by the Thunderbird. And finally, Wasakachak said, no more, stop hurting the beautiful birch trees and their bark. He stepped forward and he said, I am so sorry, Thunderbird. I thought I was doing the right thing. You can have your fire egg back, but before you decide, please turn around and look at the two-leggeds village. The Thunderbird turned around, and she saw as the fire was continuing to creep down the hill towards the two-leggeds village. And as it got closer and closer, she saw as the two-leggeds came towards the fire to warm themselves, where they were shivering and their faces were white and very, very clammy, looking like they were about to die. As they came closer to the fire, they got color back in their face. They felt warm. Not only that, but as they gathered around, they started to share the stories that they just heard, or that they just witnessed. So the story of course, how Wapoos began to zigzag back and forth, the story of the beautiful birch trees, the story of the trembling aspen, but most importantly, the story of the majestic Thunderbird and how much power she carried, and the gift that had slipped down from her beautiful cave down to the village below to keep them warm and save their lives. She had never heard anything so beautiful as these incredible stories that they were sharing. And then they started sharing their voices as well, and they could hear them singing. And she thought, Wasakachak, there is something really special about these two-leggeds. I don't want them to die. So yes, Wasakachak, you may give them fire, but you have to make sure that they learn how to use it properly. You have to share with them many of the teachings of fire and many of the ceremonies of fire. We have to have knowledge keepers as well as fire keepers within our nations. And so Wasakachak went and taught all of the two-leggeds how to honor fire, how to respect fire, and more importantly, how to thank the Thunderbird in a beautiful way for giving us the gift of fire. And so that is the Thunderbird story. So again, it shows us everything happens for a reason, even if we not see it right at first. And so, yeah, this is going to be the Thunderbird Song. So I broke my other drumstick. I have to make a drumstick tonight. Well, in all fairness, my other drumstick was like half eaten away because I played it so much, and it was about 8 years old. So I think it's time. So this is the Thunderbird Song. I just wanted to share one more song, and then I am probably gonna fall asleep. I've been working nonstop all day, and so this song is the goodbye song, not the goodbye song, because there's no such thing as goodbye. It's the traveling song, and it teaches us to really honor all of the roads that we walk down, to remember that it's more about the journey and all that we learn throughout the journey than the destination itself, but also to know that all roads lead home, because home is where you make it. Home is, you know, where our ancestors have pushed us from and will continue to guide us through and to. It teaches us that we need that strong foundation of, you know, family and friends, and sometimes our friends become our family, and that's a gift too. It teaches us that community is where we create it, and it's not necessarily a place as much as a feeling. And so this is the traveling song. I'm very thankful to my elder Sharon Prue Turner for sharing this song with me, and for my friend Ashley and Yolanda for bringing it back home after she had passed. So I'm very, again, just so filled with gratefulness, and you know, yeah. So this is the traveling song. To wish everyone a good week ahead.